As a kid, I was into the main superheroes you'd expect, like the classics every kid gravitates towards. I'd be dressing up as Batman from Batman Begins, or swapping out a Wolverine figure just to get my Spider-Man one back. Truly indecisive. I remember sketching characters like Batman Beyond and the Power Rangers, giving them these funny triangle-shaped bodies that, looking back, actually kind of popped off. I mean, I guess I had a sense of proportions even then. Now, I could reminisce all day about stuff y'all might only sort of relate to or imagine, but as a kid, I got older, as we do, and I started to realize something, that I've never really had a Superman moment as a kid.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
And as a kid, I didn't care about what makes Superman morally compelling, and that's alright. What kid wants to think about deep things in character studies? I just wanted to play as a kid, okay? But yeah, I wore the shirt once or twice, but I was never drawn to him, and for whatever reason, maybe I just didn't pay any attention, but as an adult, I've grown to appreciate what makes Superman so special. As always, I'm Hunter from Hunnera, bringing you some of my most personal takes on movies, media, and everything in between, and let's see why I overlooked Superman as a kid, and why I kinda get him now. Even with Superman being the first true superhero debuting on April 18th, 1938, he's a character that can still be easily overlooked by many, and a lot of that comes down to how he's often seen as the ultimate Boy Scout. Hell, I'll admit it, even part of me still kinda agrees with this notion. But over the decades, Superman's been through countless iterations and moral interpretations. We've had the classic version we all know, fighting for what's right, locked into that never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way, or really just the way of striving to be a better person. But then we've had stories that take him down a darker and more complex path, like what if Superman became a dictator? Or what if he tried to build a so-called better world, turning his back on his morals and the people who loved him the most? And of course, there are some really wild and wacky versions too. Climbing back to the top of the list, the Superman we all know and love has been one of the most purest characters we've ever had in comics and film. Close enough. What really builds up my respect for him is how rare the true version of Superman feels these days. Sure, you could argue that the comics have held it down with stories like All-Star Superman, but let's be real, the majority of people don't read comics and have probably never even stopped into a comic shop before. So when we get interpretations like Injustice, or Snyder's take on the character, or even homages like The Boys and Invincible, it starts to muddy the waters of what Superman is or how he should act. Now, I'm not saying people can't tell the difference between the versions. Of course they can. This isn't some deep critical thinking exercise, but what I'm getting at is that we just haven't had the chance to focus on our big blue Boy Scout with the same level of hype and excitement as we have with these other takes in recent years. And that's no disrespect to the flavors of the week. I genuinely enjoy all these interpretations, but at the same time I find myself really craving that hopeful take on Superman. The one that makes you feel like you can do better, and the one that makes you look up to the sky, believing even for a second that you could be Superman too.
If you think I'll just go to jail and rot, you're living in a dream world!
Good. Dreams save us. Dreams lift us up and transform us into something better. And on my soul, I swear that until my dream of a world where dignity, honor, and justice are the reality we all share, I'll never stop fighting. Ever.
What really gets me excited about the newest Superman movie is the chance to bring the character back to his roots, themes of hope, his inner conflict of doing the right thing, and a hero who isn't afraid to stand up for what's right no matter the consequences. It's kinda give and take compared to the most recent Superman we've had with Cavill's version, and honestly, I think Cavill could have done wonders as Superman, even if he was given the right tone and feel, and I really like Man of Steel. It's probably one of my, if not favorite, Superman movies, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't want something a little more accurate. Like, I do feel bad for how dirty all those actors were kinda done. But touching back, they could have just sprinkled in a little more of this.
About you is beautiful. We saw that the moment we laid eyes on you. We knew that one day the whole world would see that. I'm worried they'll take you away from me.
I'm not going anywhere, Mom.
As I've grown older, I've really started to see what makes Superman so special and why he's the perfect choice to be the first true superhero. It's not just about his powers or the cape, it's about what he stands for, the way he represents hope, kindness, and the belief of doing the right thing actually matters. Superman inspires people not just on the pages of comics, but in the real world too. He's a symbol of what we could be at our best. Now, don't get me wrong, the inner kid in me always will want to suit up as Batman, swinging through the night, take down the wildest of enemies in the shadows, but at the end of the day, even Batman knows the world needs Superman, because no matter how dark things get, Superman reminds us that there's always a reason to keep fighting for the right thing.
His whole planet was destroyed. He's the last of a Holocaust. He grew up in the dirt, finding out slowly how different he was, a stranger discovering every day how strange he was. He has the power to tear the world apart, and he could with a pinky. It's not his world, we're not his people, we should be ants to him. Imagine that, always being on the outside, the pain that would come from always being on the outside, and yet he took that pain and became the symbol of hope.
I can't take myself serious. Roll the outro.
Tonight's near your heart. I don't know if I'll be fast enough to get it before the wound closes.
Where's the Flash when you need him?
Do me a favor and lose the sense of humor.
Do us both a favor and buy one.